Hey everybody, it's Dr. Mike here, and today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to make a video about how you can do things that are nice and simple that help you influence your emotions for the better. And that's because the better your emotions are, the better your immune system is. And it turns out when you start learning about all of these things, when you start learning about your health, you realise that there's so much you can do with your health to be healthy so that you're a lot less likely to get ill or get injured or be in a bad place. And just to give you all a bit of a backdrop, the video we made last week, we just explained that everybody knows that the thoughts affect the body. Everybody knows that if they're stressed, the shoulders go up, they frown. Everybody knows that if they're busy, they'll walk faster with the head down. And the reason I'm explaining these things is because whatever's going on between your ears affects your body in so many ways, it's unbelievable. Another example is, you can spot if someone's depressed, can't you? If someone's depressed, they've got the head down, they've got the shoulders down, the voice changes, excuse me guys, and the expression on the face changes, and you can really see it, you can really feel it in that person. And the thing is, it all applies to your immune system. So if somebody's down, their immune system can be down as well. If somebody's suppressing a lot of anger, their immune system can get suppressed as well. And it's really, really important because there's a huge question in chiropractic, which is, why do some people get ill and injured and diseases? And why do other people with the same life, working in the same job, living in a similar type of house, not get ill? So we've had patients say to us during the pandemics or whatever you want to call them, they've said, Mike, it doesn't make sense this, right? I'm at home, I've got 2 children and there's my wife. My wife has been really, really, really ill with COVID. I've slept next to her every night to look after her. So I've breathed the same air, haven't I, Mike? Unless you had a scuba tank, you must have done. Why is it, Mike, that my wife had COVID really badly? I'm breathing the same air, the kids are, and we didn't get ill. And the conclusion you come to is that, is it the virus? And this applies to the flu, it applies to the common cold, it applies to lots of things. Or is it what's going on inside the person has an effect on how likely it is that stuff outside of them, like a virus, can get to them? So lots and lots of people said this. And when it comes down to it, your psychology and your emotions, what you think about, have a massive, massive effect on your immune system. And last time we were saying that there's things you can do that will set your emotional, if you like, set you up emotionally better so that your immune system is functioning better. So the simplest one, and there's lots of them, is the best one, gratitude exercises. And it's been known about for a long time. It's featured in lots and lots of books. You can walk in a bookshop now and you can buy probably 10, 15 books on gratitude. And at the heart of it, the idea is, if we focus and think about and dwell upon what we're grateful for, what makes us happy, what makes us rejoice, it actually has an effect on your brain. It rewires your brain, number 1. Number 2, it has a very, very beneficial effect on your mental health. And number 3, it has a beneficial effect on your immune system, because if you're focusing on the things that you're grateful for and happy for and are rejoicing about, your body, just for one thing, produces less stress hormones. And the stress hormones that we produce when we're stressed suppress your immune system. Now, you need those stress hormones. You can't get rid of them altogether. But what happens with a lot of people is they're really, really stressed. So, for instance, one of the people where the gentleman says, why did my wife get ill with COVID, Mike? Why are we sleeping in the same room, breathing the same air, and she got ill? I don't know if this guy was doing gratitude practices or not, but he said, Mike, my wife is really stressed. So if you're really stressed all the time, you produce stress hormones like cortisol, and stress hormones suppress your immune system, right? So when it comes to gratitude exercises, and I've done these personally for about, I'd say getting on for 8 years now. I've done them so I can tell you that they work, but I can also tell you that you have to work at them. It's not an easy, it's not a super easy thing, but it's pretty simple. So at the heart of it, if you're really pressed for time and you've never done it before, if you spend even 3 minutes once a day, 3 minutes, and you can do it when you're in the shower, that's what I do, standing there, just thinking about things that you're grateful for, things that you're happy about. So I'm going to do it off the top of my head right now. So last night I got home, my wife had a long busy day, I only got home at 8, and she'd still made me this really nice meal. It was like a healthy Chinese takeaway, and it was there ready for me. She heated it up, and she'd had a busy day. We've got a 3.5-year-old. Actually, this was Monday night she made me this Chinese, but it was brilliant. Or was it yesterday? But it was brilliant, it was tasty. So in my head I'm thinking, that meal was really, really, really good. Wow, I really enjoyed that. Then I'm thinking about my daughter, who was really happy that I read The Snowman. She loved it, and she couldn't wait for the bit where the snowman comes to life. So they're two easy ones. You might think, if you think, well, I don't know anything good that's happened. One man I know said the best thing to do is look down and go, I've got 2 feet and I'm alive. And we have a patient who comes in here, and I'll go, how are you, Bob? I'm just making a name up. And he goes, Mike, as long as I've not woke up in a pine box, life is pretty rosy indeed. So you've got those things. You might have had a phone call or a text message from somebody that means something to you, right? You might be going somewhere, you might be going to the shops, you might be in the shops and you've got the money in your pocket or on your credit card to buy some food that you like. You might have put your Christmas decorations up. I'm loving all this. I'm thinking Emily, that I work with, took it in her own time to find that little Christmas tree. And then the lights that hang in from the TV, she plugged those into the TV, she brought those from home and made the room feel Christmassy for me. And already you start feeling good when you think about those things. If you keep doing that for a few days, it'll rewire your brain. And some people say, Mike, can thinking about what you're grateful for really have an effect on your body? I'll say, well, I'll tell you what. You know, I said a few minutes ago when I just listed a few things off, I'm thankful that my wife made me this really good meal that was like a healthy Chinese takeaway with tofu. Yeah. If I think about that, because it's one of my favourite foods, what starts happening to my lips? Do I start licking my lips? Does my mouth make more saliva? It's a bit gross, but it does. Does my stomach start rumbling because it's making stomach acid? So here's the point. If you do an experiment yourself, if you think about sucking a lemon, your face will start puckering up. If you think about your favourite meal for a few seconds, your mouth will water and your stomach will start rumbling. So that's how powerful what you think is. Think about when you've watched a scary movie, you shrink back in the sofa, you grab the chair arms. Watch people watching football, they jump up and down and they kick and swerve like they're playing the game down the pub. So what you think about has a huge, huge effect on everything in your body, but it massively has an effect on your immune system. It affects everything, but it affects your immune system particularly, and that's very topical at the moment. So, just going back to my original point, gratitude practices. The thing is, it's quite good if you've got no time, and so many patients of ours haven't, just to spend that 3 minutes thinking about, what am I grateful for? What am I happy about? What am I pleased about today? What can I rejoice in? You can think about all of that very easily in a queue. But after a while of doing it, some people get a bit complacent with it. So there are exercises, and there are things like, if you've got a diary, or you can pull out your iPhone, if you've got a diary, if you write in it for a few minutes, 3 minutes is enough again, the things you're happy or grateful for or pleased about, that counts. Another idea, and we've posted a link to it in the show notes for this video. There's a link to, there's another hospital called the Mayo Hospital, very famous, and they recommend things like, you get a jar, and it sounds strange, but it works, that's the point, it works. You get a jar and you get little pieces of paper like post-it notes and you write on them things that you're grateful for. And again, it can be, I've got 2 feet, or it can be, I can see, right? Or it can be, I've got a roof over my head, or it can be, there's a photo of my granddaughter, or, oh, do you remember when we went for that day out last year? Do you remember when we went to this place, that place? It can be something that you're looking forwards to. It can just be that you sat there and you're breathing in the air and you've lived another day. It can be anything that makes you happy, right? And you write it and you fold it up and you put it in the jar. And you might do that once a day. And then at the end of the month, you take them all out and open them. So you don't do any more work that time, but you get the surprise of going, was I really that glad that the chippy was open on the way home and they had a spring roll left? Oh, was I really that happy that I found that CD that I've been looking for? And again, do you know what? I'm almost apologising for it, but it sounds like work, and it is, but it's a lot easier than a lot of the other things that people do to cope with modern life now. The reason I'm saying this is all these activities we're talking about, they boost your mental health as well as your immune system. So on the one hand, a lot of patients have told me, Mike, a lot of people are drinking and eating more, and I'm not judging that, I've done it. They're doing that, they're drinking and eating more to try and cope with life because everything's up in the air. Well, if you look at some of those gratitude practices on the link in the show notes, they're quite fun and they really, really, really help. And there are other things you can do. The other big one is kindness. It's funny, isn't it? That's getting a lot of leverage now. So kindness is essentially doing something nice for somebody. That's it. And it's been shown in studies, like hardcore research, being kind to somebody, right, has massive effects on your own mental health, massive effects on your immune system, and massive effects on your overall health, including your heart as well. That's another one. So the thing is, when you start looking at these activities, if you do things that are practical, that's even better. So you've got your gratitude, haven't you? You've got thinking about stuff you're grateful for. You've got writing it down in a diary or on your iPhone. It's more powerful if you write it with a pen for some reason. You've got writing what you're grateful for on a post-it note, folding it up each day and putting it in a jar, taking them out once a month and going over them again, getting a double whammy. But what some research has found, and I think this was at Harvard University, so fairly prestigious, they said it's great reflecting upon and thinking about what you're grateful for. They said, but action beats words. And what they meant by that was, if you're grateful for something, I took it they meant somebody by this, you show them. So you know, you get a gift and you think, my goodness, that's fantastic, look at that scarf they sent me. And you send them you send them a thank you card. Do you remember at one time we were all brought up to send thank you cards? And you look back and you think, maybe that's why, because when you send a thank you card, you feel good for thanking the person and they feel good for being thanked. If you give something to somebody, so it could be a charitable donation, it could be giving someone some extra time, it could be giving somebody a smile, it could be holding a door open, it could just be like taking an interest in somebody or saying something genuinely nice to them. When you do something for somebody that shows you're grateful for them. Like I thank a lot of our patients for coming in. I don't do it every time, but a lot of times say, thanks for coming in today, because without them, I wouldn't get to do what I like doing and I wouldn't earn a living. So when you actually express thanks and show kindness to other people, it doesn't have to be anything big. That has a much bigger effect than just reflection alone. So those habits, if you do them even for a few weeks, even for a few days, you're going to feel better. And if you stick with them over time, even when you don't want to do them, because they're brilliant at first, when you do it, you want to tell everybody about it. Go, have you heard about gratitude? And people go, yeah, I've read a book on it. No, but have you heard about writing down what you're grateful for? Oh, yeah, I've heard about it, right? A lot of people will then say, oh, brilliant, it worked for me for a few weeks or a few months. But if you keep it going in the long term, you're going to rewire your brain for better mental health. You're going to rewire or restructure your heart. True. Your heart, the elasticity of your arteries changes for the better if you practice gratitude and kindness. Your heart will change, literally. and your immune system's going to be functioning much more powerfully just through spending some time making yourself and other people feel better. It's win, 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 win. So I hope that helps everybody, I really do. Look it up on Google as well, you'll find there's a lot of really good stuff out there, and there's great books on Amazon. And I'm going to thank everybody who's been on here, because there's lots and lots of people watching, which is amazing. Thank you. Karen, good afternoon to you. Lynn, good afternoon. Jan, thank you for being on here. It's kind of you. Tracy, good afternoon. Good to see you. Merry Christmas in advance. Colin, good afternoon to you, so well, good evening. Pip, good afternoon to the Sings. It's good to see you on there, Pip. Anne, good afternoon. Good to see you there. Eve, thanks for being here too. Hope you've enjoyed it. Dawn, good afternoon, Dawn. I hope you and the dog and Stephen are all well. And Myrtle, it's a good name, that. Good to see you, Myrtle. Thanks for being here. Jackie, good afternoon, Jackie. Good to see you. Julie, always good to see you. One of our favourite people. Denise, one of our other favourite people. Good evening. Good to see you too. Good to see you. Susan, good to have you on here again. Thank you. Lena, good afternoon to you too. We've not seen you before, but welcome to the video. Welcome to our page. And Sarah, good afternoon. I hope you all enjoyed that, guys. Thanks very much. And we noticed somebody said they wanted to pop into the video while they were watching. That's fine. If ever you want to do that, just get in touch with us when we're not making a video, because we'll have to figure out how to do it technically. And if anybody wants to join in on one of our videos, and if you've seen something you like and it's something you do and you're interested in, we do like to make videos where people who know us, our patients or other people, come on and join in. And if you've got an idea for a video, you know, if you've watched one of them and you think, I like that, can you tell me a bit more about it? Or you mentioned something a little bit, could you tell me more about it? Absolutely, of course we am. Have a brilliant afternoon, everybody. Bye-bye.